wines are these expressions of places. They're liquid landscapes. You know, a painter, Monet, paints a place with pastels or oils with these beautiful colors, and you look at it visually and it gives you a sense of what that place is like. I consider myself an artist of landscape, but I use liquids instead. Most of the grapes that we grow, Chardonnay, Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, Pinot Noir, their parentage originated in the Middle East. That's a desert. It's a high desert. You know, it's not like sand dunes, but it's like if you look at these hill slopes around here, it looks a lot like this. So when you visit, you know, you roll into a tasting room, and if you think you're having your typical, I'm just going to go sip a few wines experience, is really different. We have a small bistro in our tasting room. We have an amazing selection of tapas. We have one of the biggest selections of cheeses in northern Arizona, our own cured meats, and then of course we have amazing wines. I mean, obviously I'm proud of my own place, but we're not the only ones doing this. There's a lot of great things going on here. I mean, there's 2 other wineries right down the road here, Javelina Leap and Oak Creek. Over in Cottonwood, Arizona Stronghold, Pillsbury, Burning Tree, Fire Mountain. And because of the wineries, other things have happened too. Better restaurants, tea houses, olive oil tastings. At our place, our mantra is people don't just go somewhere to taste a wine and buy a bottle and leave. People go somewhere because they want to connect with something. They want to have an experience, right? I mean, I'm a winemaker at heart, but that's only a small portion of what we do and why we're here. We're here to make people happy, first and foremost. We're here to share something that is really dear to our hearts, connect them with this place. But hopefully they walk away going, wow, you know, my life has changed just a little bit.
So why did you choose Page Springs? What do you love about it, Kim?
We discovered it years ago, and when you drive up, it's this white structure. There's a dirt road, and you walk in, and it's just welcoming, and it's comfortable, and it's loud, and there's wine going on, and there's
cheese.
Yeah, cheese, and there's views, and you can hear the creek. I mean, it's just beautiful.
So speaking of wine, did you have any wine?
I did. One of my favorites from Page Springs is their Pinot Noir, and I asked for it, and they said, nope, come back in June. So what I did have was a Syrah, the 2014 Syrah, and it was delightful. I don't like wine that has too much of the heavy tannin, so it was nice and smooth, but not too
dry
yes.
and like puckery.
Yes, thank you. I don't like that in my wine. And then my husband, we're trying to elevate him from dessert wines to wine, but he still likes the dessert wines. But he had a 2014 Malvisa, and it was actually pretty tasty. I tried a sip, and it was not too sweet.
Well, what I've been told by my wine friends and what I've tasted is some of these, like Malvasia and Aglianico and Sangiovese, and these varieties are working very well in Arizona. So that's really cool. Did you try any wine when you were there?
I didn't. My husband did. He had
Okay.
a chilled wine flight. He was really impressed with how the detail that our waiter went through with each of the wines as he introduced them, and he gave him the background and how things blended together, and so that was really neat.
I actually tried the flight of red wines, and another wine that they grow there actually is Grenache, so I enjoyed all of it.
So Kim, what did you have first?
We started with the Alpine cheese plate, and just large, yummy cheeses. There was Swiss and there was Gouda, just enough to share. So we shared that, and it came with some apple chutney, which was just the right, some crackers. It was just the right thing to start with. Just the right amount of sweetness, but it was savory, and it was perfect with the cheese and then with the crackers.
So it just cut some of the richness of the cheese?
Correct.
Tell me about your cheese and wine pairing.
You know what? We didn't do the wine flight. We just had a glass of wine of something that we wanted to have. Because nowadays wine can just go with whatever you're eating. It will enhance and bring out the flavors.
I'm glad you said that, because it's all about enjoyment. At least I feel it is. Yes, technically there can be some combinations that work better than others and some that don't. But if you're enjoying the wine and you're enjoying the food, then you've got the perfect pairing. Nicole, what did you start with?
We had the sausage sampler, and it was an assortment of handmade sausages, a homemade wine mustard that was really good, and it had, I believe it was an orzo salad, but it was a little bit different than what I traditionally think of as orzo, and it was really good. And then they brought it out with some fresh bread, of course, so that was really good too.
Good, and your 6-month-old liked the mustard, right?
He loved it. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Kids can do that.
Yeah.
Later they're like, mustard, I'm not touching it. Dave, what did you start with?
We just had a couple of things. They have a homemade cured salmon, excellent, thick pieces, not too salty, very creamy. We also had the pesto grilled shrimp, nice large pieces of shrimp. The pesto gave it a nice salty pesto-y flavor, if that's a good way to say it. But my only complaint was that we didn't get enough.
So Kim, what'd you have for entree?
I had the meat pie, which is wonderful pizza. It was just the right amount, just the right size. It was enough to share, but I could also easily eat it myself. But it was loaded with cheese, and there was pepperoni, and there was sausage on there, and it was crispy. There's nothing about, you don't want to have a soggy pizza.
We had a pizza too. We had the TNA pizza, and it had pesto and cheese and artichoke hearts. It was very good, but the star was the crust. It was, crispy like that wood-fired crust should be, but inside was really pillowy and soft. It was very good.
So TNA in this case means, because it is a family-friendly winery.
Tomato and artichoke hearts.
Very good. Okay, good. Anyway, David, what do you have?
We had the mushroom pizza. It was fantastic. Nice stone-fired pizza, thin crispy crust, and it had a unique creamy spinach sauce, portobello mushrooms, and a blend of forest mushrooms, which was probably the most mushroomy pizza I've ever had. If that's
Well,
a
they do
description.
call it a fungi pizza.
Yeah, it's fungi pizza. So,
Which is correct.
Very good flavor.
But nothing tops a meal off like dessert. Kim,
Oh,
tell me.
mascarpone cheesecake.
Ah, nice.
It
Creamy.
was, yes, it was creamy. It was the right portion. It came with a wonderful blackberry sauce. It was just beautiful. And there's a little bit of caramel on there,
Oh,
drizzled.
interesting. So caramel and blackberry.
Yes.
Well, we also had the mascarpone cheesecake, which was excellent, but my wife had the locally made fudge. And the interesting thing is it also came with some apples, which were local. It seems to be the theme there is locally sourced food, so it's fantastic.
We did the brie platter, and that was really good. It was 3 selections of different bries, and then it had some candied nuts and some crackers.
I have to tell you, Nicole, secret is I go for cheese for dessert every single time.
Yeah.
9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I'm not really a dessert person except for sometimes cheesecake. So Kim, you love to travel, and Arizona wine industry, the passion that's going into it all over the state, up and down. Have you been to some others you like too?
Yes, we have also gone to Javelina, which is just right around the corner from
it's a
Page
great one.
Springs. And then another favorite is Alcantara in
yes.
Cottonwood,
Okay.
which is a little further. We can hit that on the way home.
Well, it's kind of exciting what's going on. If you would like to try Page Springs Vineyards and Cellars, reservations are not accepted. The average tab for dinner is $18 without drinks.